Kick it.
All right, folks, we're here at the Consumer Electronics Show, and we are at the Microsoft booth with the Zune team, and, of course, the podcast man, Rob, at the Zune team. How you doing, Rob?
Doing great.
So, you know, there's been a lot of exciting things happening with the podcasting space since the Zune was introduced, because we're seeing a massive influx of new people listening to podcasts. So why don't we talk about Zune and the podcast and anything else you want to talk about the Zune Marketplace?
Okay, well, we can certainly start with the software. You want to go to that one first?
Let's do that. So, Dave, if you'll...
Actually, we happen to be playing...
Oh, wow, look at that. Actually, it's our wrap-up show with Andy and I here at CES from last night that, believe it or not, we actually recorded right here in the Zune booth. So, okay, well, Rob's showing the software of the marketplace right now. And
so it's got a great player. You can actually see the status of the video playing right in the software here, and then all the controls right down here. And so when you back off and just watch it, it basically takes over the whole screen. The actual marketplace software disappears, really, and it just becomes all about the content. And that's really what's going on with the marketplace just in general, is we built it to be very kind of a friendly design that's very open and kind of natural feeling, and it's really all about the content. So if I actually go into the marketplace.
Hey, Dave, if you want to stay back on the software so we can drive through the, he's going to drive us through the software demo. So.
Yeah. So as you can see, the actual user interface is very clean. There's not a lot on the page except for content. That's what our users want. They want to be able to get to it. Now you can customize kind of the background graphic feel of it. We've got about 6 or 8 different patterns, colors, and styles that you can do some customization of it to make it feel more like your player. So actually in the podcast area, so we have music and podcasts in the marketplace today. And we've got about 3,500,000 tracks of music in the music catalog today, and about 2,500 podcasts, actually audio and video podcasts that are in here. Most of what we're seeing people playing in the marketplace right now is video. So it's actually really interesting, and I think it has a lot to do with the screen sizes that we have of the Zune players themselves. So video seems to be our sweet spot right now. And so we've got a lot of video featured at the top, but we also have a lot of audio in there, and we're getting a lot of people consuming, the audio stuff in the software as well. So you see on the left side here, we have a catalog of all sorts of different genres of podcasts. So let me go into, actually a good one is the entertainment category. And if we go into the TV area, you actually see we've got a lot of video podcasts in here from major media content providers to long tail, regular podcasters that are making terrific content as well. And we've had thousands and thousands of podcast submissions to the catalog, and we're going through and adding those as quickly as we can, and trying to build it out. So,
and I know some people have had some concern. Please get me added. But you guys are essentially going through and looking at the shows, making sure the RSS feeds are good, and you're really trying to make sure that what goes in the content or what goes on the marketplace is going to be a good experience for every consumer that comes in. Right?
That's right. And it's really a process of making sure that the album art is in the feed, it's the proper size, so it doesn't look all pixelated actually in the software when it displays. Some podcasts have it good, some of them don't. So those ones we have to work with a little bit more, maybe even reach out to the content provider and make sure it's done right.
Those of you that are consumers that are playing with the marketplace, that'll mean it'll just be a much better experience for you, and the content that you find will be active and updated, and you have a good experience with it. So, what else is going on with the marketplace then?
Well, it's just getting a lot of use. We're definitely finding it, and being that there's only 2 content areas for the marketplace, music and podcasts. I think the podcasting piece is starting to get a lot more kind of visibility. I mean, in our competitors' platforms, it's a little bit buried. So it seems like people are discovering it. I know at the show we've been seeing a lot of people come through to actually discover podcasts, and they're actually shocked when I actually show them what a video podcast is and how easy it is to use in the software and on the device. And they're like going, wow, I can get that, and it's really exciting.
Well, on your competitor's product, the true word is buried. It's buried. The podcast content's buried. So I think what we've seen in this huge influx of people that are watching podcasts, I mean, it's big, folks. There's a lot of people coming in to this, let's be honest. The Zune is growing slowly in market share, but the number of people that are consuming podcasts on the Zune is much of a high proportion than I think what's going on in competitors' product. So what did you guys do new with the Zune 2? I know Zune 1 was kind of the first iteration of this, but you've really made some significant improvements to it.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing we did was really think about the user and how easy it is to navigate content and actually get to what they want in the software, and that really applies to the little touchpad that we have now, the Zune pad, which is very touch sensitive, so you can actually just touch it and scroll up and down through the content categories. You don't have to push on the button. Now, granted, to actually activate one of these categories, you do have to push down on the button. That activates it. Once you get in there, you can scroll up and down and discover the content very quickly. And then at the very top, we have navigation at the top that you can get to different genres, especially when you're looking at music. But with podcasts, we have video and audio, so you can scroll back and forth. So you can click over and get to all your audio podcasts, click over and get all your video podcasts. And a lot of our users are not necessarily finding that distinction right away. So when it actually loads, it loads the first or the last genre that was accessed. And so I just want to make sure everybody understands that you can get back and forth to audio within the software by going back and forth. So there's a lot of content. I mean, this device here is the Zune 80, which is an 80 gigabyte model, and believe me, it holds a lot of podcasts.
You know what I like about this is that I gave my Zune 1 to my daughter, and I set her up for the subscription plan.
Yeah.
She doesn't complain to me about music. She gets to put on what she wants, and really I'm keeping her legal by, she's not going out on the internet and getting stuff, so she's able to get the content she wants, and she's using it in a device that's friendly to her to use. So I think it's awesome the way you've got that set up. What is the actual music subscription price?
Yeah, okay. Well, that's a big difference between us and our competitors, is that we do offer a subscription plan for $14.99 a month. You can actually get access to the majority of the music catalog, and it's an all-you-can-eat deal. I mean, you can get as much music as you can stuff into the player. But certainly some of the tracks, it's usually the newer release tracks. You do have to buy separately from that program. But most of it's there, within the subscription program. And actually, what we're finding is more and more of the new releases are starting to come out as part of the subscription as well. So it's a great way to discover new content. You don't have to worry about having to buy individual tracks, but we do have that option as well. So you can come in and just fill up with just the tracks that you want.
So for consumers who are looking to just have a good device to consume music and podcasts, definitely Zune's a good choice. Now, I will, it's because we create podcasts. That's what I am. I'm a podcaster. Everyone should know that Rob was brought on by the Zune team because of experience in podcasting. And if you've got feedback for the Zune team really wants to hear from you and what your experience is, what you'd like to see changed. I think Rob is the best advocate we have in the space right now for podcasting. And there's no one. Your competitor's not talking.
No.
They're not out here sharing, and here you are. You guys are out here sharing and talking and getting feedback on the product. And I really appreciate Microsoft and Zune. Finally, I shouldn't say finally, but now stepping up to the place. It really, we waited a while for it, and I'm happy you're here. So, if you got anything final to say, Rob, or?
Well, yeah, I just want to say, if you're a podcaster and you want to get in the Zune marketplace, or if you just have a question for me, or ways that I can help you get your podcast going and get it into the marketplace, you're certainly welcome to send me an email at rob@zune.net, and I would love to work with you. I know a lot of your audience is podcasters, so I really want to reach out to those folks and say that we're open to having conversation, having a connection, and I'll do the best I can to help in any way I can.
And in all honesty, I had some podcasters forward me some stuff, and I immediately CC'd Rob and everybody. And you know what? It's the feedback is going to make this product better. It's going to help build the audience. And if you're an audience member, we want to hear from you too, what you like about the marketplace, and we want you to listen to these great shows that are out there. It's exciting. I'm glad to see what you're doing. Thanks, Rob.
Well, thank you, Todd. I appreciate all your efforts in the podcast community too.
Kick it.